Hello, 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 and welcome to Twin Peaks. It's been 30 years, and we're going to be going back. Well, for some of us, it'll be the first time visiting that quiet little town. Um, so, uh, if you're here, I'm guessing you know me. In fact, you probably know everyone on the screen. This is Troy. I'm here with my lovely wife, Nanette. Say hi.
So we're gonna be watching Twin Peaks, like not the movie, but like the series, but not the whole series, like the pilot, like the first episode.
Thank you, Lucy. And of course, Big Al. No show would be complete without you.
Is that what your guy's life is like? Her making like we're just like it's so cute.
Some days it really, really is.
Well,
It absolutely is.
did you really think that Lucy recorded the promo for this?
If I had had enough advance notice, I probably could have had Kimmy do the voice for us, but no, I wasn't going to go that far with this. So hi everyone. Hi. Let's see who we have. Crizzy Kitty. I hope you're caught up because you said you wanted to rewatch it before we started. Chris P, Melissa Harris. I've actually already said hi to most of you in the chat already. Casey Scott, Daniel Heron, Evelyn Hampton. She's all set with the download. Casey Scott, Mr. Matchstick. Good to see you, Sir Torrin Clegane. Okay, got everyone here. So I'm wondering. I'd love to see what you guys say in the chat. Let me know. I know that Evelyn has seen this before. I know that Crizzy Kitty has seen this before. Of course, I know Nanette has seen Twin Peaks a bunch of times. I've forced her to watch it. She's become a fan, not necessarily by choice, but she has become a fan at least. But how about the rest of you? I'd love to know. And we did touch on this a little bit last night. You said you were kind of aware of it. What was your experience about knowing about the show and pop culture around it and such?
Well, and that's pretty much what it was. I remember it like being in the culture at the time. There was that group that watched it, just like there was with X-Files, and I was in the X-Files group. When it was heavy, and I was when I was working wherever I was working, every Monday morning we'd come in and it was like, "Did you see the show?" And then, but I do remember when Twin Peaks was out, and there was jokes that would go over my head because I didn't watch it. Things about like the pie and the coffee and just other stuff like that. I was aware it existed, but I just and like Who Killed Laura Palmer was kind of almost like the Who Shot JR of that year. It was kind of like the phrase that everybody was talking about. When you get a show with a conspiracy or a mystery or anything like that, people do tend to
Yeah, I didn't catch it the first time through, and I had a very similar experience that you did. I didn't watch the show. I heard some things about it. They talked about it on the radio and so forth, and I started getting really interested. But it was episodic, and I knew I wouldn't necessarily be able to jump in the middle of it. But it did turn out that the first season was a very, very short season, and then they reran it. And so I caught it in the reruns, and I literally I was just crazy about mysteries when I was in high school. That's when it was. I was in high school when this came out, and I sat down with a notebook and I kept copious notes. So that's why I ended up, and I credit that with teaching me to be observant, because I took down notes about things that were completely extraneous, just because you never know what could be important.
right, yeah.
And this was I'm trying to remember if we had a VCR at the time. I can't remember if I was able to record it back then or not. So I think I got it. I got what I got, and I had to do the best that I could. But very different time. Now I have 3 different digital versions of it. Well, I have it on VHS and 3 different. I have 2 versions on DVD and the Blu-ray. I'm kind of crazy about this.
I get that. I get that. I've started to get that way about a few things. Like, I want to have it in every kind of format I can get a hold of it in.
Now, I find that really interesting. Crizzy Kitty says, I had no clue Twin Peaks existed till 2017 when they had it on Hulu for free, and they were promoting The Return. I actually get the impression that there were a lot of people that saw it for the first time because The Return was coming and wanted to get caught up on it. But think about.
I get the impression it is a show that in today's lingo would be very bingeable. You would just have to like one right after the other to kind of like keep seeing what's going on.
It is, and I'll tell you why. The timeline of it, especially that first season, is very succinct. I mean, one episode comes right after the next, and sometimes multiple episodes take place in the same day. And you have the benefit of and we'll get into this when we get there, but Kyle MacLachlan's character does a lot of recording on what do you call it, a tape recorder throughout, and he makes notes that way. And it's very much like, the Captain's Log in Star Trek, that kind of gets you caught up and lets you know exactly when it is and gives the date and so forth.
Okay, I gotta say 2 things. One, Sir Torin had posted, I didn't watch the show when it was first on. I was too young to be aware of the TV and what shows were on it. Then said when he got older, he wrote it off since he thought Lynch was a hack, but now his perceptions of him are different. Second thing I have to say is, hi, Professor.
Oh, the Professor's in the house. So which Dolly Parton movie are we watching? What's up with Dolly Parton today? Because they were talking about her in the Mego boards too for some reason. Was there some Dolly Parton news or something like that?
I think last night they were showing that Christmas at Dollywood movie on Hallmark.
Oh, okay.
I think that was the Hallmark movie from last night.
Gotcha. Yeah,
is everyone able to hear Troy okay? Because in my headset, he's cutting in and out a little bit. I want to see if it's just me or...
Okay, I'll put the mic a little closer. I'll speak up a little bit.
Yeah, it's not... I was actually getting ready to say something.
I always tend to get more quiet when Nanette's on mic.
Warbly.
Yeah, I tend to get quiet when Nanette's on mic because I don't want to get any reverb going on with her mic. But, Twin Peaks. I see, Professor. Very funny.
But I'm pumped.
Because I was going to say, I doubt he's sitting there watching Hallmark Christmas movies while he's at a convention.
He is the master at the joke that you really just don't get because I guess his intellect is just too astronomical for us all.
Let's see here.
The last comment.
Troy is either echoey or sounds underwater at times. You know what?
Yeah.
Sorry, there's really nothing I can do because there is another mic in the room, and I can't figure out how to filter out my voice out of Nanette's mic. So sorry, guys. I'm not as professional as the Professor and Fan Man, but I'm trying here. So anyway,
well, the Professor would always tell me to turn my mic down, but
if
I don't know what you've got.
She won't.
Let me see. Let me try turning mine down a little bit.
Okay.
Or my headset down, or so. I don't know.
Okay. Can everyone still hear me? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And am I still reverberating?
No.
Okay. Good.
That sounded better a little bit. Yeah.
Okay. Good. All righty then. So we'll be getting started in just a minute. Really, I think just about every version you could possibly have, whether it's a DVD, a download, a stream. If you start right at the 0 mark, you should be on a black screen. If you're seeing a bird sitting on a branch, You're probably a little bit too far into it by a second, but that's okay. As Al pointed out, the first note hits before the screen opens up, and I think that's key. It in my mind, it tells me how important music is. Music is very important because I feel that this story is more about feel than it is about coherent story. Even though it does have a coherent story, it's not as weird as some of his other projects, and as some have said, but it sets the mood. So if everyone's ready, unless anyone is Muhammad in the stream, is he gonna tell us last minute to hold off?
I don't know.
Okay.
My mic's doing something weird.
Yeah, don't play over the air, just through your headset. And Amazon got me confused when I went to buy the pilot, and so now I have episode 1 of the original and the return. Oh, I'm sorry, Chris. Yeah, so I guess I should point that out, that there is 2 versions. I thought I mentioned this yesterday. I'll mention it again. Yeah, I really should. There's 2 versions of the pilot. There's the actual pilot that appeared on ABC, back in the day, that acts as the first, installment. It's listed as episode 0 on the discs. But there's also there was a released VHS version here in the States that was shown. It's called the European cut because it was released in Europe as a full movie with an ending. They filmed an ending because it was just a requirement that was put on Lynch and Frost by the network. They wanted, just in case it didn't get picked up in Europe, they wanted to be able to show this as a standalone movie that wraps up at the end. So they create a killer and they give it an ending. And those scenes that are cut out that are, aren't part of the original pilot, actually end up showing up in later episodes as dream sequences. So, so if you do have the European version, you might get a little bit confused at the end. And if I remember when we get to that point, I'll say if you have the European version, this is where you're going to go off the rails and not know what's going on. I'm not hearing you over mic now. Mr. Matchstick, you have the European release. Is that what you have? I'm not hearing
maybe
you.
Maybe he has Firewalk with me.
Still not. No. Yeah, Firewalk with me is great. I'm definitely going to do that someday as a rewatch. But anyway, that's working on some sound things, but I want to go ahead and get started. We're about 15 minutes in, and that's usually a good time. Anyone who's here is probably already here. All 11 of you. Thanks for joining us tonight. Again, we're at the black screen just before you see the little birdie on the branch. You should be at this. Your mic is just not on. Your mic is just not on. I'm sorry. Yep, we're going to go ahead and start in 3, 2, 1, play. And I just love that first that slapped bass, And yes, that bird, the fans all call him Flappy.
Oh,
I still can't hear you, sweetie. No. And all of this machinery that you're seeing here, it's not there anymore. This is obviously meant to be a lumber mill. That's part of the story, but it was actually a paper mill. They cut down the trees, make the pulp, and the sheriff's station is actually the office, or was the office for that paper mill. Just a little bit of trivia. I'm going to try not to do too much of, hey, I've been there and I've seen that, and I had, but there may be some of that, and I apologize in advance. But
I do like I like the music. It's kind of
music is
very, very soothing.
It is. Angelo Badalamenti. absolutely sets the tone. It's that very beautiful dreamlike quality.
Sherilyn Fenn.
I don't think you're plugged in at all. I don't see any lights on your, what do you call it, on your headset. Peggy Lipton, there you go.
Mm-hmm. Everett McGill.
Yep, Everett McGill is another one that he's in a lot of David Lynch productions. He was the leader of the Fremen in Dune. Jack Nance, Ray Wise. Ray Wise, you might remember from West Side Story.
Yeah, all kinds of stuff actually.
Joan Chen, Piper Laurie.
Oh,
yeah.
Russ Tamblyn.
Mm-hmm. Russ Tamblyn is that psychiatrist that I mentioned before. And yeah,
Michael Horse. He's the one that played Tonto in
yes,
that 80s
is.
Ranger
I'm glad
movie.
you mentioned that. You're absolutely right. Yep. Great guy too. Really, really nice. Nanette and I had lunch many times right by this river with the cast of the show, actually.
Oh, cool.
I still can't hear you. I'm sorry, sweetie, but I can't hear you at all. Oh, that's right. Everett McGill was also the werewolf in Silver Bullet.
Silver Bullet, yeah, I remember that, yeah. Oh, Joan Chen. Young Joan Chen.
Mm-hmm. And this is actually in the lobby of the lodge. They just put the thing there to get the shot.
Mm-hmm.
And that's Jack Nance. He's the one that played the lead in Eraserhead that we were talking about last night. You're muted. That's why you're showing mute.
Whoa. I saw the picture on your Facebook page with the reenactment with poor Nanette. Who killed Nanette?
Yeah. Oh, you did see that. Yeah.
I saw that picture, yeah.
Because we all lined up and anyone who wanted to got their pictures taken.
Oh, cool.
And as you can imagine, that big stump is still there, but people keep trying to take pieces off of it, and they're trying desperately to preserve it.
Mm. Oh, that's who she was doing earlier.
Exactly. That's exactly
I've seen her.
Right.
I've seen her in several things.
Oh, yeah.
I've always liked her.
And we actually have that headset. Not that exact one, but the same model. Now that's a surprise. He says where, and everyone always commented he doesn't say who. He says she's dead, and he doesn't say who. It's a surprise that that's not the first question.
Wow, you really have analyzed this, haven't you?
Yeah, we have. And did you see her reaction? There's a body. The fact is, this is a small community, and the idea of someone just being dead is a surprise, you know? That kind of stuff doesn't happen. So,
Can you hear me now?
yep, can hear you now. Perfect.
Well, we went to the last convention. We actually got to recreate the scene where we were laying in an exact same spot. We wrapped ourselves up in the plastic like that, and they took pictures of us so we could recreate Laura Palmer being dead.
Yep.
Yeah, I saw the pictures on your Facebook. I mentioned earlier.
Yeah, it wasn't really Troy trying to murder me and hide the body.
Right. Hey, welcome, Orville Nation.
Oh yeah, he's an officer that instills calm demeanor, doesn't he?
True, but he is empathetic. He's such a sweet guy.
Well, you would think a small town like that, you see something.
Yeah, he's just not
like that. Obviously a murder.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to shake you up because if it's not a stranger, then it's somebody you know.
Exactly.
And he knew Laura, was very fond of her. So, yeah, this is hitting him in the feels, totally.
So at this point, we don't know who Laura Palmer is, but as we're going to find out as we go, she was a very beloved. She's the homecoming queen. Everybody loved her. She volunteered for Meals on Wheels and all kinds of things. So, yeah. His daughter's best friend.
Mm-hmm.
And he's the doctor in the town. He delivered her, And this is Laura's mother. She doesn't even know that Laura's not home. Grace Zabiskie, she's a sweetie too.
Great character actress.
Yes.
Cruzy Kitty said the Pacellis are a strange couple. Yes, we are.
That's absolutely.
It took her that long to figure it out.
I like to think strange and wonderful.
Cruzy Kitty said the first time I saw this, I thought Mrs. Packard was actually the live-in mistress. Don't ask me why, I just did.
Yeah, they don't immediately establish the relationships, so it takes a while to figure out who everyone is, and
Now that ceiling fan becomes important in the story. I'm not sure if it comes out in the pilot, but throughout the series, that ceiling fan becomes important.
I actually don't think it comes up until late in the second season. Okay, and there you go. That's Charlotte Stewart. She's the one I mentioned yesterday, who was the teacher on
Little House on the Prairie.
And and she plays the girlfriend in Eraserhead.
She's starting to get the bad feeling. You could tell.
Yep. Well, and you find out as the show goes on, she knows a lot more than she even lets herself admit.
Yeah. Now, where is this supposed to be? The state?
So, in a little bit, he's going to tell you exactly where it is in the state of Washington.
Sherilyn Fenn. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It's like Snow.
I think you might be a little bit ahead of us because we just saw the falls.
Yeah. Snoqualmie is beautiful. It really is.
Yeah, the guy just spit in the fire.
Okay. Wow. You might want to pause for a couple of seconds. We have Sherilyn Fenn just getting into the car. We'll let you know when we see somebody spitting.
Yeah. Yep. Yep.
Just spit.
Just spit. There you go.
Okay.
So obviously there's lots.
I,
Yeah, go ahead.
the guy who handed him the paper, I know that guy from something.
The one on the couch, or the one that was standing and spitting?
One that's standing and spitting.
He's been in a lot of Murder, She Wrote episodes.
Yeah, he has. He was also in.
I need a better look at him, I think.
But that's an actor by the name of Richard Bamer.
Mm-hmm.
These are the Swedes.
Yeah. Actually, I think they're Norwegians. And yeah, that I also met the guy who's doing the translation, and he really does speak Norwegian.
All right, Norwegian.
I love that stone and wood.
Yeah.
Look, God, that's beautiful.
Sorry, I can't resist. We had lunch in that room too. Now this is Laura's father, who's
it's gotta be. I know it's Pacific Northwest.
Yeah, it's the state of Washington.
Washington, yeah, you could
This
tell.
was all filmed in Snoqualmie, Washington. Those were the Snoqualmie Falls that we saw.
Is it close to Snohomish?
It is about south middle of the state.
Okay. I just know Snohomish is a Bigfoot hotspot, or was.
I think that's a little bit north of here. Okay.
And here's when he finds out.
I want to give this a moment, because this is the scene that hooked me.
Those paintings on the wall are more garish in person.
Yeah.
She knows something's wrong.
Yep. Yeah.
I think I know where I see the guy, but I'm not sure.
Yeah.
I think he was in a movie called The Christmas Card.
Oh, I haven't seen that.
God, that music just
Right, and it just swells.
It keeps you like that heightened sense.
That piece is called Laura's theme.
What's interesting is that table is still there in the hotel.
Yeah, it is.
Ooh.
Even my mother said she was hooked just from her scream. She's like, she bought it, you know. Oh, love
What's
this.
a cream? We've eaten in that diner, although it looks different now.
Well, they rebuilt it. They said for the return. Madchen Amik.
Yep.
She was in the movie Sleepwalkers. I'm sure she's been in other things too.
Mm-hmm. So that's Peggy Lipton, who is sadly no longer with us.
She passed recently.
His name, I keep forgetting, but I remember seeing him in a few things. he always plays like the, I don't know, kind of a dip kind of a guy.
Yeah. Yeah.
In the back behind her, to the right, that goes towards the bathrooms, and on the walls they have all these pictures from Twin Peaks, like the filming and all that, and like the history of the diner up on that wall there. It's really interesting history when you look at it.
The interior of the diner was rebuilt later on a soundstage in California, because they really only filmed the pilot here.
Because I think she knows what else. Well, you're sitting practically on his lap. What do you think?
So that's Laura's boyfriend. He's obviously cheating on her with a married woman. And that's what we call the Doppler effect.
So she's married?
Yep.
And her husband.
So there's an age difference of
she's a little bit older than him. She's already graduated from high school, and he's still in high school.
Yeah. I can't say, because she doesn't look that much older.
Yeah. I figure.
Whoa. Is that the husband?
If you're a little bit ahead of me, yeah.
Yeah, I think you're ahead of us again, because right now they're still driving.
If you're seeing a truck, then yes.
Yeah. She just got out, and he's heading down the road fast.
And when the police car had gone by, they looked kind of like what the heck was that? Because this is a one-horse town. Nothing ever happens in Twin Peaks. So it's kind of like, why are the lights and sirens on that police car? Yeah, so right now she's just getting out because she sees the truck, and he's now backing up to get out.
Yeah, her husband's not.
How that far ahead?
I don't know. I think maybe the timing is just off on that file. I'm sorry about that.
Okay, right now we're like at the morgue or something. So if you're ahead of that,
I'm at the morgue. I've stopped it when Ray Wise is entering the room where his daughter's on the thing. Let me know.
Okay, we're not there yet.
There. Evelyn, I'm sorry if you're having trouble too. I did my best for you. Yeah, Ray Wise has been in a lot of things too.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. He's one of those actors that can just play any range.
And just entering.
Okay. Just lifting her off the face now. Okay.
You're in the right spot now.
I thought it was interesting they took the time to get the sand and stuff out of her hair before presenting her.
Well, I suppose you would.
No, they don't always do that in these crime shows. They'll usually leave them as is, so you can see them all in their ickiness.
Yeah. It really is beautiful there.
That's her best friend.
Yeah.
Laura Flynn Boyle.
Flynn Boyle, yeah.
Can't believe she dated Nicholson.
Yeah, she Sherilyn Fenn is so sweet in person. She really is. And this is Laura's other boyfriend, the secret boyfriend.
You see the guy dancing down the hallway. You look down toward you didn't see a guy doing those sideways things.
I know. I don't even have to watch. I know exactly what's going on.
Yeah.
Now, I want to do a special call out here to Gary Hershberger, in the foreground here. Heck of a nice guy. I really like him in person. He was really, really nice to us when we met him in Snoqualmie.
I really want to punch him.
Yeah, he is kind of a jerk. Yeah.
Yeah, he's one character that you just hate. You know,
Mhm.
sometimes you can empathize with him, but other times you're just like, ugh.
I do love that skirt and sweater combo.
Why don't any of those kids have school books? I see a notebook. That's about it. No school books.
They're definitely going for the James Dean thing there. Now here we go again. The tension builds.
He had absolutely no reason to tell that teacher anything.
Well, he did say there's going to be an announcement. Donna looks over. Laura's desk is empty. Looks at James. And she knows. And so does he. Man.
Oh, she is cool and calm about it.
There you go. There's
Mr. Matchstick needs a timestamp.
so I'm at 24. Oh no, I'm sorry. 23, 51, 52, 53.
Well, I'm at 2303.
Yeah, I think you're a little bit. You get a little bit ahead of us. Yours must just run a little bit fast, and I'm afraid that might be because of the conversion that I did. Now, this kind of questioning in the high school without a parent present, even back then, that wouldn't have flown. But you get the distinct impression that in this small town, they're not used to dealing with these kinds of situations.
You get one phone call, boy.
This reminds me of that scene from My Brother Vinny. I shot the clerk. I shot the clerk.
That's a very cool shot. Just the empty hallway.
Yeah, it's that emptiness, you know, that very soft, ominous music. It's called So Dark. Mr. Matchstick, have you not seen anything up to this point? Laura Palmer's body was found, and they're beginning to do the investigation, trying to find out what happened to her. And they've just told the kids in the school about what happened.
man, she must have been like an angel. Everybody loved her.
Exactly.
She was
Exactly.
very involved in the community. She helped people out all the time. She was one of those beloved people that it's like, Laura Palmer, oh yeah, I know her. You know?
Mhm.
But you also get an impression of the it's a reflection of the people that you're seeing too. That principal must really care about his kids, you know?
Mm-hmm. That's an iconic picture.
Yep.
No, she was the homecoming queen. She was everyone's sweetheart.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, in the existence of the show, do we actually ever find out why she died, or
Yes.
who killed her?
The network kind of pushed them to wrap up the mystery very early in the second season, and I feel
okay.
they did a huge disservice. I really do.
Melissa Harris, I keep remembering the typo she had the first time she put her name in. You would have to get super high to watch Twin Peaks. And really, I mean, it is a little strange, and there's some strangeness too that you really got to kind of wrap your head around. But it's not really all that weird that you can't follow along with it sober.
Mr. Matchstick was actually watching what equates to season 3. He had the wrong first episode, so he's a little lost. Sorry about that, Mr. Matchstick.
Do you need another timestamp, Mr. Matchstick?
Yeah, we're at what are we at? 26, 38, 39.
28. It was 28, 38.
28, 44, 20. Yeah, we're 28, coming up on 29. Oh, you're right. This is where her reaction to the fan.
Yeah.
Okay, you're right. You're right. It is established in the first episode.
I love that shot of Laura behind her head.
And you notice the little picture too.
Yeah.
It must be agonizing for a parent to have to go through their child's stuff like that.
Exactly.
What I'm looking at is like, okay, you're taking a box for stuff, but what are you taking and why? I mean, I understand the diary.
Yeah.
But like stuffed animals? Like, what does that have to do with anything?
They're trying to find out anything that they can. And there you go. A video machine. That could tell them something too.
Did they just found the camera for you guys?
Uh-huh.
Wow, I am running fast.
Sorry about that.
The phone just started ringing.
Now, of course, they've just sedated her, so she's really out of it.
Yeah.
Okay, the phone just rang now.
How do you know the sound's not on? We only have subtitles on this movie, or can you hear it? Oh, okay. Because I'm like, I can't hear it. I'm just reading the subtitles.
But I wasn't kidding. If I didn't have the sound on, I would know what they were saying. I would know what song was playing. No, that one doesn't play. And just a note of cosplay, I've got Nanette got me one of those badges. I'm gonna actually turn it into a Twin Peaks Sheriff's badge.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, it's the right style with the emblem in the center. It's just the words are wrong. I think it just says Sheriff's Department or something. And so he's got to kind of dremel that off and put in the right words.
Well,
and then
it was a prop, and they converted it and I know exactly how they did, and I just have to reproduce what they did. 2x4s, 4x8s. 2x4s by 4x8s.
I love wood, watching
Oh.
like wood get cut like that.
Now you see the dynamic here. See, Josie owns the mill, but Catherine runs the mill. And there's a lot of what were you going to say, Al?
Okay, tell me when she calls her a bitch in your thing. When she says bitch, tell me so I can start mine again.
Well, I mean, she just walked out of the room.
Mm-hmm. She goes down the stairs and calls her a bitch.
So now Josie's on her microphone saying, you know, that this is...
Okay, yeah, it's coming up.
Mm-hmm.
Bitch. There you
Okay.
go. Oh, God, I hate this. And she just fires the guy because she's a bitch. He's also missing. Think about that. You know, they closed this whole big business because one of the workers' daughters is missing.
Mm-hmm.
Go home, be with your family. That doesn't happen. This, by the way, is that missing daughter. I'm not hearing you.
Oh, you don't hear me again?
Actually, you're lagging. It's like you're not in StreamYard or something's wrong.
I thought that was Wilford Brimley for a second.
He does look like.
Oh, whoa! What happened to her?
Yeah. Cigarette burns. She was obviously tied up.
Is that better?
Yeah, we're good now.
That was Ronette.
Yeah. Big Ed's gas farm.
If I recall, that gas station's not there anymore, right?
It wasn't actually a gas station. It never was. But I think the business is still there. It's a bait shop or something like that.
Yeah. When they took us for the tour around for Twin Peaks, they showed us what would have been Laura Palmer's house. It's like, it's so tiny.
Yeah. Actually, Laura Palmer, there were two Palmer houses. There was one for the show, and then there was one for the what's it called? The movie Fire Walk with Me.
Now the woman with the eye patch.
Yeah.
Does she have an eye patch just for the sake of style, or is there a reason behind it?
There is a story reason behind it.
Okay.
It goes to why they're actually obviously I'm getting ahead, but he's having an affair too. But he won't leave his wife because he feels obligated to stay with her because he's the reason that she lost her eye. And now we introduce Kyle MacLachlan.
Mm-hmm.
5 miles south of
Well, he
Canadian
is
border.
the Quetzalcoatl.
Yeah. %60 of the time it would beat working. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's significantly more expensive up in Washington now.
I had tuna fish for dinner.
Sheriff Harry S. Truman.
Mhm.
Clean place, reasonably priced.
What's funny is the inn he ends up staying at, it's not reasonably priced. It's the most expensive inn that there is, or hotel there in Snoqualmie.
It's actually not even a hotel. It's actually a spa. So yeah, it's expensive.
Yeah, it's something like $480, $500 a night.
Yeah.
But some people will stay there going, I got to stay at the Salish Lodge, which is, what they call something else in the show, but it's actually called the Salish Lodge. And it is super expensive. But they're like, I stayed there. It's like, okay, whatever.
Great little exchange here.
And Harry's just like, yeah, glad to have you here.
This establishes the relationship between them. It's like, I usually have problems, but I'm in charge. No, that's fine. We're lost. We need your help. It's that Sherlock Holmes and Watson kind of relationship established right there.
And Agent Cooper is such a likable character. And he doesn't come across as bossy when he talked to Harry either. It's just kind of like, I sometimes have trouble with this, but I'm in charge. But he did it in a nice way rather than I'm in charge. It's like, I just want you to know I'm in charge. Those two are like two of my favorite characters on this show. The sheriff and Dale Cooper.
Several times, man. But there's only one high school in town.
Yeah.
What year did this come out?
This was 1990 actually.
90? Okay.
I wonder, did I have her fingers? And they just look at him like, okay.
So the reason that an FBI agent is involved is because she came down off those railroad tracks from across the border. So it's an interstate thing. But the reason he's checking under her fingernails is because this looks like a previous case he'd been working on.
Well, the sheriff had said that they scraped underneath her nails. So when they did that, they should have found that little slip of paper.
No, because they don't go that deep. Remember
that. Oh, right. Oh, yeah. Don't remind me. You.
Sorry about that. And there's Dr. Jacoby.
Oh, Chris P says, good night. He's got to cut out.
Oh, take care, Chris. Thanks for being here.
Hi, Chris. That's West Ham, right?
Yeah, and Laura was a minor. She was in high school, so yeah, she was a minor.
Well, no, because if you're 18, you're not a minor.
Well,
I can't remember if she was 17 or 18. Believe it or not, I can't remember that detail.
I want to say she was 17 because I seem to remember that. And this is an odd duck. What
Yeah,
is it in his ear?
Uh,
he's got corks in his ears.
Yeah, okay.
They never definitively explain why, but there's
He's a psychiatrist, and he's like,
nuts. Yeah.
yeah, he's completely nuts.
it's like eccentricity for eccentricity's sake.
But honestly, I got the distinct impression that everything you see about him, there's a reason for it if you really want to dig into it enough. He's a psychiatrist.
Checking her fingernails again.
And then Chrissy said if Laura was a minor, then FBI would be called in too.
Good point, Chrissy Kitty. I hadn't thought about that. So here's another little bit of trivia. That electrical problem that's happening, that's something that actually happened in the hospital where they were filming. And they decided to, instead of getting it fixed, go ahead and go with it. And they ended up working it into the story. This whole electrical thing ends up becoming a recurring theme in the story.
Let me know when that part's over.
Okay.
Okay, it's over. Okay, you'll let me know.
I'll let you know.
What, when he goes under the finger?
Yeah.
Al, you were supposed to go there.
Oh, I didn't. I'm sorry. I didn't know.
That part just so gross.
It's done. Oh, we need another timestamp. It is 43:40, 41, 42, 43, 44.
The letter R.
Yep.
I'm ahead again. I'm at the gas station again.
Okay, hold up. I'll tell you when we get there.
I got Laura Flynn just stepping out of the car.
Okay, we just came. We're at the gas farm. The truck is pulling in. And Donna is getting out right now.
Okay, good.
I liked how Dale was like, give this to Albert, not to Sam. I was more on the ball. So it's like he obviously knows the work ethic of some of his coworkers.
Yeah. Well, Albert is good. He's a jerk, but he's good.
Yeah. Crazy said Mr. Matchstick, if at all possible, watch beforehand. I watched it 8 p.m. to avoid this and concentration issues. It only took him 44 minutes to get synced up.
So yeah. No, you're not.
Wow, he's a dick.
Oh yeah, totally.
So
like, yeah.
I was talking to him and I said, my gosh, I said, you really did such a great job. I really felt like you might have been like the kind that would have picked on me in high school. And he's like, you know what? He goes, I was never like that. He said, I was always the one that was picked on in high school. I said, then you're just a good actor, man. So, of course, you notice that that's Everett McGill right there. And his wife, Nadine, is played by Wendy Roby. They played opposite each other in a movie called The People Under the Stairs, if you ever saw that one.
No, I never saw that one.
Yeah, I'm not sure if they were playing husband and wife or brother and sister or both in that movie. Again, that music. It's a piece called Freshly Squeezed.
A little jazz.
Yeah. See, February 23rd.
Yeah, it's tomorrow.
Right. That's why we were doing this tonight. Yes, it does mean you'll never grow up. Look at that reaction on his face. Jay. One had 26 letters.
Huh, key.
Yep. Now listen here. Yep. Yeah. See, this is where, unfortunately, we're gonna start.
I just like that, Diane. I'm holding in my hand a small box of chocolate bunnies.
Yes. As it turns out, they have nothing to do with the case. Although they do get eaten, we find out later.
Again, it's one of those things where it's like, why did they take it from Laura's room?
Who knows?
And that's Lucy.
Yep. Oh, man. Tell Harry I didn't cry, and he's actually crying.
Try to say
Her voice is so sweet.
Right?
Try to say I did a good job sounding like Lucy when I did the recordings.
There's a humor to it, but how can you not be moved by it too? You know?
Mm-hmm.
I love this interaction here too. The way he interviews him.
Well, yeah, that kid has Andrew McCarthy levels of punchability to him.
Yeah, he does. I love his reaction to him though. Just turns and smiles. I ask you your questions. Calm yourself, kid. Now, this is the videotape they found in Laura's room. Now, see, when they talk about things like last week and the day before and stuff, that's all the stuff that they do talk about in Fire Walk with Me.
Mm-hmm. I like it. I like the little message he sent the sheriff.
Yeah. That old tattoo.
Uh,
And you know that look is like, how do you know that? You know?
she's a pretty girl.
Yeah. And that reaction that he has starts with the letter J, and it's like he's thinking, you know?
Hmm.
And he looks. Hmm. I was never sure if when he said you didn't love her anyway, if he knew that or if he was just planting a seed to get a rise out of him. Okay. We're just at the part where she's poking a pencil into the cup. So if you're that far ahead, you might want to pause up a sec.
Yeah, she's been doing that for about 30 seconds.
And she's such a brat in this show.
Yeah, she was. So when she lets the coffee spill, I'll let you know. So pause at that point.
Okay. Oh, yep, just started spilling.
Oh yeah. Okay. You're not that far ahead. Go ahead.
I always wonder.
Bit.
Yeah, it's like, why didn't you
Yeah.
pick up the cup and make it go around the desk to
She's-
make more of a
she's
mess?
cleaning it all up while she's still sprinkling it, you know?
A normal person would have taken the cup, thrown it into the garbage, or tilted it so it wasn't coming out, or put your finger over the hole or something.
So another little anecdote. Sherilyn Fenn was saying that sweater she was wearing was actually her own sweater, but in order to get it as tight as it was held against her back under her skirt with binder clips and stretched out her sweater. And she's like, damn it, this is my favorite sweater.
Best supporting actor, the binder clips.
Clever. Murdered.
And here she's trying to sabotage her dad's deal.
Why?
Because she wants attention. That's the only.
Oh, jeez.
Sneak. Well, her best friend just got killed.
Mm.
Did you catch that? He said a biker.
A biker?
Yeah. A biker that starts with J. Not very subtle, Lucy.
Mhm.
I was
Hey,
really what they were saying.
It's the general from Stargate.
It is General from Stargate. Yes, very good that you noticed that.
General Hammond.
Yep.
Crazy Katie said, I would have smacked Audrey. Yeah. Crazy Katie said, there was a show I watched a few years back, only 2 episodes, about an FBI agent having memory issues. I think it was James Franco, but it reminded me of Twin Peaks.
Yeah. Everyone in this show, their acting was so on point.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm. Okay, yeah. So if you saw my promo from yesterday, should recognize this scene.
I pretended to be typing. Well, I was really typing with what Mike and Bobby were saying. Well, they didn't exactly say who they were talking about. But anyway, here's what they were saying.
Took the wind out of her sails. Look at that.
Mm.
Yeah, like I said, Sherlock Holmes, Now this outlook, this is where the video that they were looking at was filmed, obviously. And it's beautiful. But when we went,
Well,
it's now. Oh, you're ahead of us again. The Norwegians are leaving.
yeah, the Norwegians are leaving, and she's just all too happy about it.
Yeah.
Because she's making trouble. And it's fun for her. Yeah.
I don't think she really gets it through her thick head. Your daddy doesn't get any money. You don't have any money.
She's not thinking about that though.
I know.
She's a spoiled little rich girl. She'll grow up very quickly in the next 2 years. The Norwegians are leaving. The Norwegians are leaving. Yeah, exactly, Evelyn.
Ugh.
Yeah, right.
Nasty stuff in the caboose, or wherever they're at, the train.
Yeah, the train car. Yeah, hammer. They did a great job of recreating this scene for the prequel movie.
Ah.
Mm-hmm. Walk with me. Mm-hmm.
Now, all of Snoqualmie is just gorgeous. No matter where you are, there you see the mountains.
But what's really sad is that this spot he's at right here, you can't go exactly there anymore because they've put an observation platform there. It's kind of breaks up that beautiful, untouched landscape. Yep.
What the hell's the guy banging his head with a headdress on?
Oh, you're ahead of us again. Well, they'll explain it in just a second. Yep. This is pretty sad, actually.
Melissa Harris says, so full of symbolism, this would drive Professor Geek mad.
Yeah. See, she volunteered to work with him, with her brother. And she's frustrated because he's autistic and he doesn't understand.
Crazy Kitty said, "My sister couldn't tell if you were laughing or crying there, Big Al."
Oh, I was laughing. I don't know the guy's story, so I just saw a guy banging his head with a headdress on, with an Indian headdress on.
And that's the kind of thing I'm talking about, because it's just like with Andy. You know, it's funny that he's crying, and then after laughing, you're like, "Oh," you know.
Yeah.
It's the same kind of thing, you know. It's funny, but then it's kind of sad too. And I think it's just brilliant the way that's working.
Well, when I first saw it, I thought it was the dad banging his head against the thing. That's what I thought, and then I realized it wasn't. So it's like, oh,
okay. So this is the contents of that safe deposit box: Flesh World magazine and a bunch of money. That money obviously is going to get real important going forward. A lot of Girl Scout cookies.
No, not anymore. They're like $5 a box now.
Yeah.
And the boxes have gotten a lot smaller.
How that the husband?
That's Ronette Pulaski in the magazine. And yes, that is the truck, exactly.
I'm ahead again.
Yeah. He just picked up the cigarettes. Yeah, this is tense.
What the hell's up with his hair?
It was 1990, just coming out of the 80s.
Yeah,
He's a very abusive asshole.
Yep. Yeah. But she is cheating on him. And he knows it.
Well, he suspects that he can't prove it.
Yeah. And then here's the other cheating couple.
So Everett McGill's character is having an affair with Peggy Lipton.
Yes. And it's kind of one of those tragic things, because as the series goes along, you kind of realize they really were meant to be together. And he stayed with Nadine out of there's obviously something wrong with Nadine, and he feels responsible for that. So he feels he has to stay with her to take care of her.
Oh, so Cooper has the eyes for the lumber lady.
Oh, yeah.
Here's all the exposition about the Packard Mill and whatnot. See, and now you're getting all the background on who these people are. And you're kind of getting it through Agent Cooper's eyes, you know? Oh, yeah. Is this thing on?
Rumble, 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 rumble.
Where are you at, Al?
Red. There's a red stoplight's red.
Okay, we haven't gotten there yet.
They're still in the
Okay.
Get there.
courtroom or whatever.
Tell me when the red light goes out.
Yep. We got a green light, yellow light, red light, and it just went out.
Now wheelchair. And now there's a wheelchair.
Yep.
Yes.
So that's Donna's mother. And later on in the second season, you find out how she got in that wheelchair and what that whole story is. Oh, that's right. Donna's going to overhear this. Now, I know she's not in it. Alicia Witt isn't in this first episode, but she's one of Donna's younger
Sister.
sisters. Yeah. Thank you.
Well, okay.
Yeah. One of the girls in the house here. Just not the one she's about to talk to. Clearly.
Now that's some 80s hair still in the 90s.
Right?
Hit going into the 90s, yeah.
Well, yeah, he is pretty boneheaded, I guess. Aw. I got your back.
I got your front.
That's a detail I didn't notice before, that bird cage. Not that it has anything to do with Waldo, but
You mean Fluffy?
no, Waldo the
Oh, right, the Raven.
Like a full blooming of the evening.
Yeah, she's a poet apparently. Oh, you boys have been drinking.
Oh, I want him hurt bad.
Right. Yeah, this is going to be a problem. There's a curfew.
You're not drinking and driving, are you?
Bobby's doing most of the driving, and obviously he's drunk. Clearly, Dr. Hayward doesn't care much for Mike. Oh, boy. It's going to be real hard to cover for your sister now. Do, 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 do. Oh, boy.
There's your sister.
I'm going to tell it to you straight.
See the window?
Well,
Roadhouse.
What do you mean? She snuck out?
yeah, you're about 30 seconds ahead of us, Al.
Mm-hmm.
If I were dad, I'd be a little concerned about the wolf finder. Don't you worry about that. It's like, huh?
What
do you mean?
Very
What do you mean?
ominous the way
Yeah.
you said that. Yeah.
It's like, you touch my daughter, I will hurt you.
I love her squeaky voice.
Yeah.
I've seen her in some stuff too. I'm trying to remember.
In fact, they're specifically keeping an eye out for her.
It's like, of course she snuck out. How else would she race for that biker?
And I love how perceptive he is. He knows, what's going to happen.
Ooh.
Julie Cruz.
His wife is obsessed with drapes. She wants silent drapes. So when you open and close them, they don't make any sound at all. She's really obsessed with it. And I know somebody's going to comment on it sooner or later. That clicking you're hearing is Troy muting his mic so he can eat a tortilla chip.
Yeah.
And then putting it back on.
I'm trying not to crunch in everybody's ear, but I have to click or to mute.
Ooh.
Right?
That sends a chill right through me.
That's the idea.
It's funny that she looks a little like my sister Jeanette.
Oh, yeah, she does.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, the way her sister looked years ago, not probably now.
Almost remind me a little of Ellen Foley from like when Meatloaf and then Night Court.
By the way, that roadhouse really is a roadhouse, and it really is. It doesn't look like it does inside. This is a completely different location, but the exterior is an actual roadhouse, and they got really good food. Yeah, I love the soundtrack from this show.
Again, everybody in this show smokes.
Yeah.
That's one thing I always hated about going to restaurants or bars is that everyone smoked, so the air was just this fog of cigarette smoke, and I can't stand cigarette smoke.
Yeah, you remember when you used to be able to smoke in
Mhm.
a restaurant?
Then having to ask smoking or non-smoking section. Well, it didn't matter because the smoke's not really going to stop at that invisible line.
I like that. Thumbs up. That's rude.
And that bartender's been polishing that same glass for some time now.
No.
Seriously, these high school kids, come on. Where are the men at?
Yeah. Now the fight starts. I love that about Ed, though. He gets up to help, and
Mhm.
and she's like, "No, don't get involved," and he can't not get involved.
Yeah, you can't not get involved in that. Give me a donut.
Oh, you're ahead of us again.
No, he was talking
Yeah.
about
Oh.
the donut in the car. Oh yeah, give me a donut. You're right. You're right.
No,
Yeah,
give me a donut.
We just got there.
Dale Cooper asked him for a donut. Yeah.
Okay, we just faded to black, and we're coming back in.
He just said, "Smell those trees."
Yep, you're about 3-4 seconds ahead of us.
Yeah.
Well, doesn't matter whose fault it is. He's still going to feel bad about it.
Yeah. Huh. So Laura Palmer wasn't the clean-cut little girl we all think she was.
That's exactly right. I love this. All of these details. all these details do get explored in the prequel, and that's why I love Fire Walk with Me, because that's the way to do a prequel, you know? Man.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. Yeah. That's the problem. But I think the reaction to this is right. You know, it's like, oh God, what are we doing? Yeah. I'm not sorry. Yeah.
Yeah, I wouldn't be.
Yeah, but if you're really objective about it, this is not the time to fall for somebody. You're both grieving.
No.
This is a bad, bad, bad time. Man. No kidding, those are sirens. Yeah. I'll tell you something. I have a really hard time being able to parse out what parts were, you know, contributed by Mark Frost and what parts of it came from David Lynch. I think all of the mystery stuff had to come from Mark Frost, all the procedurals, the clues, the, you know, alibis and the details, but I'm not entirely certain. Now, I will tell you that there are people that can tell you exactly where they are on what path and where that necklace was buried, but I am not one of them. I've been on the tour; they showed me, but I would never be able to find it if I had to. And man, I love that bike.
Well, gotta love a Harley, man.
Yep. Don't run for it. Okay, good. Yeah.
Well, you know he doesn't.
I know. Like it's going to be different the next time I watch it, right? And he's going, "Oh, what am I supposed to do?" Yeah, we still got to take him in.
Yeah, I mean he didn't do anything.
Yeah, but he's definitely a suspect. He's a biker that his name starts with J.
No alibi.
Right. Yep. Yeah, don't put them in the safe cell. That would be bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be very bad. But these guys are jerks as is anyway, so.
Yeah. The lady that plays.
The lady who plays Eileen is the mother of Emily Deschanel.
Oh yeah, that's Mary Jo Deschanel. I didn't make that connection before. You're right.
Which also means she must be Zoe's mother.
Yeah.
With Mr. Matchstick's issues, I just keep thinking, oh, it's Bob. Bob's the issue. Of course, we don't know about Bob yet.
Look at all the freaking donuts, man.
Oh, you're ahead of us again.
That's okay. We're almost
There
at the end. Yeah. Lucy leaves them out every night. A policeman's dream. I like that. There's extra jelly donuts, and he takes a jelly donut.
Oh man, I am really wanting a donut right now.
Right?
The Great Northern, that's what they call it. But
Yeah.
in real life, it's called the Salish Lodge.
Yep.
I can make sure it has a TV in case I get a chance to knock off early.
Yep. Yeah, I want to watch that new show I heard about, that Northwest Passage. Harry's going to get me a rate.
What the hell are they?
Yeah. Yeah, it's weird.
I really do just want to kick that guy in the face.
Right?
I really do.
Yeah.
Oh.
He's got a lot of anger in him.
It's like, dude, what's your major malfunction?
Sir Torrance Clegane said that you had mentioned that you watched Bones. Thought you'd like that piece of trivia. Yeah, Nanette and I liked Bones too.
Yeah, I love Bones.
And now you see another romantic connection.
Mm-hmm.
I got Mr. Matrix said, I'm back, and who's Bob? Crizzy Kiss says, I know who Bob is.
Well, that's because Crizzy Kizzy's a couple episodes ahead of us. And someone else having an affair. It's like almost everyone's having an affair of some kind. Yeah, the formula for this show was meant to be soap opera meets police procedural meets, weird fever dream.
So there's something about the ceiling fan that's significant?
Yeah. I don't want to get into it in case we do start rewatching, but yeah, the ceiling fan isn't. I'm not going to say it's symbolic, but it does have some meaning, and it's bothering.
And somebody finds the necklace.
Yeah, which means somebody followed them.
Dun dun dun. That is pretty cool. I can see why that's something that people got really into.
Yeah. And what's really, really hard is that there's, for us who've been fans that have, watched all of it and really, really like these actors. We've met them in person and whatnot. And, it's 30 years on and a lot of them have passed since then. And it's just sad,
Yeah, I mean,
and I think that's why, when they got the opportunity then to come back and do, the follow-up, the return on Showtime, they were like, let's get on this and let's get as many people back together as we can. And like even Catherine Coulson, she filmed her scenes and then died before the premiere, and yeah, it was rough. So what'd you think of it? Did you enjoy that?
I enjoyed it. The stylistic, but I will say, I think what really, really put it over the top for me was the music.
Right.
That music is it's riveting. I always describe it as like there's like a nerve on the back of your neck that just gets plucked by the right kind of music, and this is the kind that plucks it and it keeps resonating.
Yeah,
it just it's like a tuning fork. It just it just
that was and in interviews, Angelo Badalamenti had said that he and David would talk, and David would communicate what he wanted for a scene in very unconventional ways. He'd say things like big boxes of plastic, and he'd like not right away, but eventually key into what he meant. How that meant something to him, I don't know, but they had a way of communicating. And like Laura's theme, the theme that they were playing right there at the end, the one that is playing when he's telling the parents.
It kind of comes in. Yeah.
That piece, David describes it as, she's missing and we don't know where she is. And wait, there she is. And the lights come up and you can see her, but she's sad. And then the lights go away and she's gone again. And that's how he describes it. And Angelo Badalamenti just sits down at the piano and starts playing the mood. And he's like, yeah, that's it. Those kind of stories are just so incredible, and you see it come through then when you watch something like this. You could just sit and talk about the music alone and what it contributes, but then there's the cinematography, the way they frame the shots, and the acting. Oh my God, these people grab your heart. And like I said, like with Andy, even though you're laughing because it's so ridiculous to see a deputy sheriff burst out crying at a crime scene. God, it melts your heart though, because this guy clearly doesn't have the experience, and he actually cares about these people. I mean, listen to me. I'm talking about them like they're real people. That's how much I get drawn into it.
Yeah, I was just looking up Emily Deschanel's mother, and I thought I recognized her, and she played Annie Glenn in The Right Stuff, John Glenn's wife.
Oh my gosh! Wow, that's a blast.
I knew I recognized her sitting in that chair.
Yeah, wow.
Well, I love that movie. I've always liked The Right Stuff.
Now, the tempting thing for me is to tell you why she's in that wheelchair and why Nadine has the eye patch and why she's a little bit kooky and, but I don't want to do that because I would not want
I
to
will,
ruin
but
the.
I do have a serious question though. A
Yes.
serious question.
Okay.
Is the mystery solved to please a viewer who needs some kind of
Closure on the
some kind of
specific
closure?
mystery? Yeah.
Yeah,
So-
on like a lot of the weird stuff that it all kind of, who killed her, why she died and what was going on.
I will say that you get I'm going to say this. They didn't get too much into it in this first episode, but it does start getting weirder. There are supernatural elements. And there is all that dreamy wibbly wobbliness of it. That there's a lot of mystery there that I don't think you ever get true closure on, but there is also a very clear, easy to follow police procedural type story. And actually when they get right up to it, there's one scene after the mystery's solved where Cooper and the sheriff are talking, and the sheriff's like, I can't buy all of this mumbo jumbo. And he goes, well, there's this way of looking at it, or there's that way of looking at it. Which one's easier for you? And that's kind of what the viewer is left with. You can just ignore all the goofiness if you want to. There is this clear-cut story, but it's a sad story. Do you want to believe that? It's up to you. I think David Lynch wants to leave that open to the viewer. But yes, the simple answer is yes. You find out who did it, you find out why, and especially this is why the Fire Walk with Me is done as a prequel. They don't want, if you already know, if you see that first, there is no mystery. You're seeing the mystery unravel. You want to have the mystery solved in a natural way and then go back and see what led up to it. That's what a prequel is for. I think a lot of the things like Star Trek and Star Wars and stuff that they're doing prequels for, you don't really need that. We already know the story, and all you're going to do is ruin it. This is one example of, we mostly know the story. I'd like to see it laid out, and they do it so well that it was perfect.
Yeah, it's like you pop into the middle of it.
Yeah.
With this episode, you're in the middle of stuff, and there's a lot there's a lot of history that you just aren't aware of that has yet to be revealed.
And as a viewer, how do you experience it? You experience it through the eyes of Special Agent Dale Cooper coming into town, not knowing any of these people. But even he has a story that goes back before this. I mentioned that when he was called in, he's looking for some things because he was working on a previous case.
Yeah, I guess there was another murder.
Exactly. And that is talked about in the prequel as well, but you find out about it in the course of the series as it goes too. So yeah, I see that Crazy Kitty is really she really seems to
She's into it.
Mr. Matchstick had a rough time. I hope you enjoyed it too. Maybe I will if you guys are interested. I might. I won't take up the movie nights with a Twin Peaks series, but maybe I'll move it to another night, or maybe I'll make it a matinee occasionally. I don't know.
Afternoons with Troy.
Afternoon mystery. I don't know. Maybe something.
Matinee with Troy. Matinee with Troy or something.
I don't know.
Something more catchy than that.
Pacelli's procedurals.
Maybe. I don't know. I'll think about it. But if you guys would be interested and you think you guys would be available, and then besides, even if you can't make it, I can always release a video at a regular time, and you guys can catch the whatever you call it, the review. Do we call it what do you call it? It's not a rerun. The rerun. It's not a rerun because you're really playing it anytime you want to. I don't know.
Well, I used to say back in the day, catch it on the flip side.
I'm starting to sound like such a boomer, aren't I? But
see all these youngins.
Yeah. So, is this something that you'd like to do with me, Al? If I was to continue doing these, maybe I reach out to you. And when are you available, and we can get together and watch an episode together and record something like that?
I'm open to it. I would need.
You don't have to decide exactly.
Well, you know what? I think I have a source for it. So.
Oh, okay. Well, we can talk about that. And we can figure out our availability later. You don't have to commit right now, on the stream. But thought I'd mention.
If that's not available, I am.
That's true. That's true.
There you go.
Like, what am I, chopped liver?
No, not at all. No. Prime cut.
No, I think you're premium liverwurst.
There you go.
I'd even go Braunschweiger.
Was that a Brady
I really like Braunschweiger.
Yeah,
I love Braunschweiger.
Me too. I never had
liverwurst, Braunschweiger, but I don't like liver.
Oh,
Yeah, me neither. It's got that iron taste to it. Blah.
Yeah,
But
I like
that.
Braunschweiger,
Thank you.
I grew up on Braunschweiger.
Yeah, I love that. Just that in a cracker, or
potted meat,
full on sandwich. Yeah,
yeah.
Potted meat. Yep.
I make a full sandwich on that. It's like, yeah,
Vienna sausage.
So there's actually another thing that you actually indirectly are bringing up, going back to the donuts, the pie, the coffee. Food is very much a recurring theme in Twin Peaks, and it doesn't seem to be like absolutely necessary, but it's like it's there. It's like the simple pleasures of life, I think that's what they're getting at with that. Although the coffee specifically, the way Lynch has put it, is if you drink coffee black, okay, if you don't put sugar and cream in it, you're talking about something with 0 calories, but it gives you energy. There's nothing there, but you get energy out of it still somehow, and it's magical and it's weird like that, and that's why he likes it. I don't know. At least that's what he says. Al, did we lose you?
No, I'm here. Oh, I was listening.
Oh, okay.
I'm sitting here thinking, I was like, man, I want a donut. Damn it. Well,
I know. Somebody else is talking about the cream-filled ones.
I have not had a. No, I'm not big on the. Well, depends on the cream.
The chocolate cream.
Nah. See,
or
I'm not.
Custard. Yeah. Those are my two faves.
Custard's okay. I've always liked as far as the filled ones, I'm big on the traditional raspberry, but Dunkin' Donuts had this one. I think it was called like an angel cream, angel something maybe, but it was just like a white donut filled with a real sweet whipped cream kind of stuff. Oh my god, it was powdered. It was just good.
Wow. Yep. And anyway, but yeah, so there you go. I'm glad you liked it.
I enjoyed it.
Those that were able to follow along with us, I know it was a challenging one for some of y'all. I'm sorry about that. Evelyn, if you're still with us, I hope you were able to keep up with us. If you were having the same problem that Al was with the time delay and whatnot, but maybe you were able to catch up whenever he did. But yeah, I had a blast. I thank y'all for being here tonight. So what do we got going? We got it's going to be the
Monday night is the Heir to the Empire book study. Tuesday night will be a very interesting and intriguing office hours, considering the Didio news, plus more Batman has been revealed. Sadly,
you didn't like it?
God, yeah,
I didn't either.
Let me interrupt really quick. If anyone has not thumbs up yet, please do so. Thank you very much.
Yeah. Well, we got 9 thumbs and 7 watching, so I don't think we're going to get any more than we got right now. But that's okay.
the next rewatch next Saturday. How about we go with a little screwballs of comedy, Spaceballs.
Oh, I love that.
Let's get our Spaceballs on. Yeah.
Hello, my baby. Hello, my honey.
Oh, my honey. Oh, my
girl.
ragtime girl. Check, please.
I love that. That one was just
The
brilliant.
soup. The soup. I had the soup. I don't want the soup. Change my.
And I'll say it's a better Star Wars movie than the Disney sequels. Just my opinion.
It's just an overall great film. I mean, with little touches to I mean, heavy Star Wars parody, but it touches on a lot of other stuff. You know, of course, Planet of the Apes, Star Trek, and
that's right. There's Planet of the Apes versus.
Evelyn said she didn't have any issues with hers.
Good. I'm glad it worked out for you. And like I said, Evelyn, if we're going to be going forward, I'll make sure you're hooked up for the future rewatches. We'll get you squared away. Well, everyone, I thank you so much for being here. Anything else that we wanted to say before we close out, Al?
Nothing I can think of.
How about you, Netter?
Well, eventually, I'm actually going to have content on my channel, which right now is pretty empty. And it's basically a thing called Simple. I'm taking simple things that people ought to know that maybe don't. So one of my episodes I'm going to be doing is putting on simple makeup. Another one is how to deal with braces, which mine are due to come off on Monday. I'm so excited. I'm going to have some content like that to kind of like, hey, maybe you don't know about this. So, if you do, great. If you don't, hey, watch this,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. She gave me the first one she wants me to edit. I'm going to try working on that tomorrow for her.
Yeah, I'm going to try to do an afternoon with Al sometime this week.
Okay.
I haven't done one in a couple weeks because of certain issues, but hopefully I'll get back on track with that.
Cool. All right. Well, good night, everyone. Thank you so much for being here, and we'll catch you in the next one. Take care.
Bye.
God, I don't want a donut.